It's coming up on 16 minutes after 8, and you're listening to Saskatchewan Weekend on CBC Radio 1. We're heard at 102.5 FM in Regina, 94.1 FM in Saskatoon, and 540 AM all around the province. I'm Shauna Powers. Hairdressers and therapists have a reputation for getting deep insight into their customers' lives. But it's hard to match the kind of intimacy you get when you head into someone's home to pack up their belongings and move them elsewhere. And while sometimes that intimacy can be welcome, it can get pretty wild and woolly too. Clayton Ireland is no stranger to this pattern. For years, he's worked as a mover, these days with Wayne's Moving in Regina. And Clayton joins me in studio this morning. Hi there.
Hi, good morning. How are you doing, Sean?
I'm doing well. I wonder, did you ever imagine when you first started working as a mover, what kind of experiences you'd see and how much of people's lives you would encounter?
Initially, when I started, it was just, it was just work for when I was in high school and stuff, and I just liked it so much that now I see it as a chance to meet most of the people in the city because I move a lot of people. And over the last 25 or so, 30 years, I've met everyone from all the former mayors, some CBC people like Holly and Costa America. And it's pretty cool. I get to see a lot of incredible houses, like from your normal two-bedroom bungalow, your normal apartment, to some of these houses they're building these days. They're just unreal, like fireplaces in the bedrooms, like jacuzzis everywhere. It's pretty wild. It's nice to see. I didn't think Regina would grow like that. Actually turning out to be so far so good.
As you think back over the years and all the different experiences you've had moving people from one place to another, are there a couple of memories that kind of stand out in your mind that you just remember very vividly?
Actually, yeah, there's actually a few, but one that I remember the best is it was early when I started moving, and we were moving this gentleman. He was a hunter, a sportsman, and in his basement, he had a whole bunch of hunting items and stuff. And this was actually just after 9/11, so the laws changed on what you could and could not transport. And in his basement, my parents made wine. And I seen this machine, and I thought, oh, that's a wine corking machine. It's like this little thing that corks wine. He goes, no, that's a shotgun shell loader. And I go, oh. I said, well, we're not allowed to transport bullets or anything anymore. And he started getting huffy. Then he goes, well, I suppose you can't move these. And then he points to these 3 giant bins. And I go, well, what are those, bullets? He goes, no, those are bins of black powder. And I'm like gunpowder? He's like,
my God.
Like, these were totes. I'm like, no, we can't move those. And I just we'd be a traveling bomb. And he's, I take those everywhere I go. And I'm like, you can't put those in a moving truck. You know Regina streets.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it would be a concussive
clear
the block.
It would be an absolute disaster.
But that one I remember because this guy he just couldn't believe it. It's like, I carry this stuff every day, and just kind of makes you hunters out there, just think some of that stuff is you don't play around with.
I know that sometimes movers walk into pretty stressful situations, like, for instance, when a couple is splitting up and you're splitting up their items as well. What's one of the most kind of stressful situations like that you've walked into?
Well, the pattern is fairly the same. You know, a divorce is a divorce, or even a couple, just boyfriend, girlfriend breaking up. Sometimes we have to walk into the middle of it. Sometimes the other person is not there. You know, that's all fine and dandy, but it can get pretty tense, and we've been in the middle of some things. We've had threats made. You don't really take them serious, and it's a tense situation, but divorces, they're hard on everybody, hard on everyone's heart, the couple involved. But I mean, if we have to be in the middle of it too, we get to see it, and it's not the most pretty thing. Or a death in the family or something, It's somber, it's kind of, you feel for the people. My father passed away, so I know what it's like, and it's hard on people when they suddenly lose someone, and all of a sudden movers are here a week later taking their stuff away. You can just see it in their eyes, and you there's not much you can do. You have to move the stuff. But that's the parts I don't really like about this, is those parts. I like just straightforward moves where there's no drama or whatever. But there is drama sometimes.
Yeah. When you find yourself in a situation where there is that kind of drama, what's the best approach for you to take to kind of stay as far out of it as you can?
If they're being belligerent or something, we just put our hands up and walk away, and we'll come back. We'll just actually, if we have to, we'll drive away, leave the premise, whatever. There has at times been, the authorities called in to watch over, and also like a marshal to make sure that the stuff that is being taken from, say, the one side of the couple is the stuff that's on a certain list that they could have. So it's, it gets technical, and try and avoid those if I can. Sometimes you get the kind of pick which job out of a bunch. It's like a meeting in the morning, and if you can, it's just like, you get the divorce today. And,
you got the short straw.
Actually, though, it's gone down because we call January divorce month. And
isn't that interesting?
Yes, January everyone seems to stay together for the kids and the holidays. And then once the holidays are over, that's when they do the actual parting of ways.
I got to think there's moments where there's some pretty good comic relief when it's a moving day.
Oh, God. Like, life itself is funny. Are you familiar with Jaden Pfeiffer?
Sure I am, yeah,
artist?
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah. Like, you can make anything funny. There's scripted humor, and then there's just stuff presents itself. And there's been one of the funniest things, and this happens quite a lot. It's funny, and this is a family show, but I'll put it in this term. Sometimes, ladies, sometimes we'll move a box, and it'll go into the truck with your other belongings, and then it gets jostled around Regina's great streets, okay?
No.
And then something
Pops
happens
out.
inside the box, and now we're bringing in a box that's buzzing.
Oh, no.
And it's buzzing, and everyone's kind of like, ooh, here's your buzzing box, ma'am. And it's kind of, everyone's got a red face. Yeah, it is. And it's just, that's my alarm clock. Okay.
Let's all pretend it's your alarm clock for now.
There's just a whole bunch of stuff. We play jokes on each other. Like, if there's a new person, I didn't invent this joke. I don't know how old it is, but if you get a corner house, they have a fire hydrant. And what you do is you wrap a blanket around it and put shovels and rakes and stuff by it, pretend it's all yard furniture, and then you tell a new guy to go and pick that statue up. And they're trying to lift this hydrant out of the ground, right? They might as well lift the earth, right? It's just funny. There's all kinds of funniness, I'm sure in your business,
Sure.
But yeah, once in a while, the customers themselves are pretty funny people, like they got all kinds of one-liners fired at us. You got to be ready. Regina's got all kinds of different people, and you kind of have to be a social chameleon, because you could be moving into someone that's very, very astute, like kind of cardboard people, and then there's some people that they're making you lunch. They're, they want you to have a beer, like stop and have a beer. So it's the whole gamut of the whole spectrum of people in this town now.
Well, Clayton, thank you so much for coming and talking to me today. I know that it's stories like yours that really make the world go round, so I appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Shauna. It was a pleasure to be here. And say hi to all the guys out there, all you movers. Carry on, and keep Regina on the move, people. It's good to see. Like Jade Pfeiffer said, you got to make your own scene, so let's do that in this town. Thanks, Shauna.
Clayton Ireland works with Wayne's Moving in Regina. If you have moving day stories you'd like to share, I'd love to hear them. You can email me at saskweekend@cbc.ca, send a tweet to @saskweekend, or call our talkback. We're at 1-800-661-7540. And if you're moving this weekend, best of luck.